morning children, how are you all? Hope you all are doing good. So today we are going to start a new chapter. It is from civics, okay? So lesson number 10, national symbols and national integration. Okay, the chapter name is national symbols and national integration. Okay, so usually a country uses the national symbol. Why they use it? To reflect their culture and heritage of the country. Okay, so these are called as national symbols. So among these national symbols, national flag and national emblem are the important national symbols. Okay, and you all know we have national animal, national bird, national flower, all those things. Why we use it? To reflect our country's culture and heritage. Okay, so these national symbols are used to reflect a country's culture and heritage. Okay, children, so among these national symbols, national flag and national emblem are the important national symbols. Okay, and we have our national anthem also. So which is our national anthem? Yes, it is Jana Gana Mana. Okay, so Jana Gana Mana is our national anthem, and it was written by Rabindranath Tagore in the year 1911. Okay, so in the language in Bengali. So this Jana Gana Mana, actually this has 5 stanzas. Okay, in this 5 stanzas, the first stanza is adopted by the Constitution Assembly, okay, on 24 January 1958, okay, 1950 as our national anthem. Okay, so altogether it has 5 stanza. From this, out of this 5 stanza, the first stanza was adopted as our national anthem by the Constituent Assembly on 24 January 1950. Okay, children? So, it takes 52 seconds. Okay, it requires 52 seconds to sing our national anthem. Okay, children? So, this is about the national anthem. Okay, so next, it is the duty of every Indian to respect the national anthem. So, when we are singing our national anthem, how we have to stand? We have to stand straight in erect position, is it? And we have sing it in flawless pronunciation, is it, children? So we should give respect to our national anthem. Showing disrespect and hindering its singing are considered as offense under the law. Okay. So standing erect in discipline while singing the national anthem, singing with flawless pronunciation. We should not make any mistake also while singing the national anthem. Okay, children, so next we'll go for the national flag. Okay, so the flag is the emblem of a nation. It is the proof of the freedom, is it? So we got our freedom, right? So the national flag is the proof of the freedom, patriotism, unity and elegance, okay, to the nation. Every citizen is moved heartily when the flag is raised on the pole. When the flag is raised on the pole, every citizen will move heartily, right? Is it? So what are the description of the national flag? So you all have seen our national flag, is it, children? The national flag consists of tricolor, is it? So the saffron at the top, white in the middle and green at the bottom. Is it, children? So our flag comprises of tricolors. Saffron at the top, white in the center and green at the bottom. And at the center we have a wheel, Ashoka Chakra. Okay, so we have 24 spokes. Is it, children? You all have seen the national flag, right? So in the middle we have Ashoka Chakra which has 24 spokes. Okay, so the radius of the wheel is the same as white color. Okay, white color colored part. So the radius of the wheel is also same as the white colored part. Okay, and you all have seen the flag. How the flag? It is in rectangular shape. Okay, and its length and breadth are in the ratio of 3:2. The three colored stripes are in equal proportion. The three colored stripes, saffron, white, green, all the three are in equal proportion. Okay. The cloth of the flag can be either cotton or silk. Okay, the flag's cloth is there, no? It can be either cotton or silk. In addition, it should be hand woven. So only one thing, it should be hand woven. Okay, so next we'll move on to the uniqueness of our national flag. So what is uniqueness? What's different of our national flag? So what do the colors of our national flag indicate? So as I told you before, we have tricolors in our national flag, and we will see what these three colors indicate. Okay, so at the top, what color we have? It is saffron. So this saffron indicates selflessness and sacrifice. Okay, so the saffron color indicates selflessness and sacrifice. Next, the white color, it indicates truth, peace and purity. Okay, children. Next, what at the bottom we have? Green color. So this green color indicates faith, fertility and prosperity. So this is the uniqueness of our national flag. Okay, next the wheel is the reflection of the wheel engraved in Ashoka pillar of Sarnath. Okay, so the wheel of Ashoka is also the image of constant movement and progress. Okay, children. So next we'll see the rules of the national flag. What are the rules of our national flag? Okay. So the flag should not be dirty or torn. So what are the rules of our national flag? The flag should not be dirty or it should not be torn also. While hoisting the national flag, the saffron color should be at the top. Okay. Always while hoisting the national flag, the saffron color should be displayed at the top. Then what is next? One should not hoist any other flag to the height of the national flag. While hoisting, no other flag should be at the height of our national flag. Okay. Next, it should be raised till the tip of the pole. Okay. So always the national flag should be raised at the tip of the pole. Always flag should be hoisted, okay, after sunrise. So the flag should be always hoisted after the sunrise, and remove the flag before sunset. Okay, so always the flag should be hoisted after sunrise and it should be removed. Okay, the flag should be removed before sunset and keep it folded. Okay, we should not leave it the flag as it is like that. We should keep it folded. Next, should hoist the flag to half of its height during national mourning. Okay, so the national mourning means if some of our national leaders, someone they dies, no. So to mourn the national mourning, what we will do? The flag will be hoisted half of its height. Okay, so the flag will be hoisted half of its height during national mourning. So while walking, always we should hold the national flag in the right hand. Okay, it should be held in the right hand. While walking, we should hold our national flag to the right hand. Okay, children. So next, the flag should not touch the ground at any movement. So we should not touch the flag to the ground. So these are the rules of our national flag which should be followed by each and every citizen. Okay, so next national symbol is nothing but our national emblem. So next we move on to the national emblem. So this national emblem is the true version of the base portion of the Ashoka pillar at Sarnath. Okay, so it is a true portion. It is same like, okay, of the base portion of the Ashoka pillar at Sarnath. So you all have seen the national emblem, right? At its base, okay, at its base down as lions are there, this is called the lion base. Okay, so at the base as there is lion, so this is called as lion base. The lion base at Sarnath is our national emblem, okay, or emperor. In our original sculpture, 4 lions, okay, so our national emblems we have 4 lions, okay, standing on a platform facing 4 directions, okay, so we have 4 lions standing on a platform facing 4 directions with back facing each other. So each lions are back facing each other. Okay. So there is a wheel in the 4 directions. So not only the lions, there is a wheel on the 4 directions. So between the wheels there are images of elephants, bull, horse and lions also. Okay. So next, the wheel at the base is known as the wheel of Dharma. Okay, the wheel. So in the national emblem, in the picture of the national emblem, you can see a wheel at the base. So it is called as the wheel of Dharma. Okay. Even on the white strip of the flag, the symbol of wheel is found. As a children, in the white strip of the flag also we can find the symbol of the wheel. Okay. So the government of India adopted our national emblem on 26 January 1950. In the picture, only 3 lions are seen, is it? While seeing a national emblem, we can see only 3 lions. One will be at the back side, is it? So a Devanagiri line called Satyameva Jayate. What do you mean by Satyameva Jayate? Truth alone prevails. Okay, truth alone prevails. Taken from the Mundaka Upanishad, is found at the bottom of the base. Okay, so we can find a Devanagiri line called as Satyameva Jayate at the bottom base of this emblem. Okay, so this is the information about national emblem. And we also have national animal and national bird also. So which is our national animal? Yes, it is tiger. So the tiger is our national animal. It is attractive and majestic to see, is it? So its physique is very strong. And which is our national bird? Yes, the peacock is our national bird. Its feathers at the top of its head look like a cap, which is attractive to see. So these are some of the national symbols of national symbols. Next we move on to the national integration. So what is the national integration? National integration means living harmoniously, okay, without having hatred, jealous or prejudice against another person or community. So living in a peaceful community without any hatred, jealousy among oneself. Okay, so this is called as national integration. It is the feeling of living as equal members in the family of a nation. So what is this national integration? It is the feeling of living as equal members in the family of a nation. Okay. So national integration refers to that situation where all people of the country feel they are one, although there are differences with regard to race, religion, culture and language. Okay, so national integration refers to the situation where all people, where all people of the country feel they are one. Okay, they are one with regard to race, religion, culture and language. Okay, so it is necessary to create such feeling among all for building a strong nation. To build a strong nation, it is necessary that all people should live equally, okay, without any hatred, jealousy or prejudice against another people. Okay, next, what is its importance? The national have very hot climate and also cold climate. So the nature are blessed with dense forest also. Cool, fresh lakes, waterfalls, attractive beaches and hundreds of small islands also. So these are natural diversity. And what about biodiversity? The biodiversity is very huge. Okay, so till now in India they have identified 90,000 species of animal life. Okay, so it includes 1,232 kinds of birds and 2,546 groups of fish. So this is about biodiversity. And also we have population diversity. People belonging to different communities live in India. Okay, so there is diversity in appearance, physics, language, food, manner, customs and religions also. So it is required to travel throughout India to know the beauty of life of people. Okay, next, unity in diversity. So what do you mean by unity in diversity? Living together, living culture, the living culture of community that has faith in different languages, culture and religion. Okay, so the living culture of community that has faith in different languages, culture and religion is called as unity in diversity. Okay, so India is a diverse nation and ranks second in the world in population. So unity in diversity means the living culture of community that has faith in different languages, culture and religion. Okay, so this is called as unity in diversity. So diversity is the strength of India and never a weakness. Okay, so diversity is always the strength of India and it is never a weakness. Now we will see what are the factors hindering the national integration. So what are the factors which interrupts the national integration? So this is nothing but one is casteism. Okay, casteism and communalism. And the last is regionalism. Okay. So these are the factors which hinders the national integration. Casteism, communalism and regionalism. So what is this casteism? Casteism means looking down upon the people of other caste. Okay, so the differentiation between the casteism, a feeling of superiority of one's own caste is casteism. Okay, and communalism, a feeling of superiority of one's own religion. Okay, one's own religion over the others, and fighting only for the sake of religion is known as communalism. And regionalism. Regionalism is another factor endangering our national integration. It is the feeling of one's narrow commitment towards one's own geographic region. At the same time, since our constitution recognizes the federal structure of states, preserving regional languages. So these are the three: casteism, communalism and regionalism. So these are the factors which hinders the national integration. So children, so these are some of the information about the national symbols and national integration. Okay. So here is the time to end the session. We will see in the next class. Okay. Thank you.